She's representing Traeger. She actually flew in just to come teach with us from San Diego. She said she got out of the hotel and was like, it is hot here. She's like, I am not used to this coming from San Diego, which I was like, wait a minute, it's such a dry heat. So we're excited to have her. We actually met Kelly, I want to say it was 3 or 4 years ago when she came and taught us how to do the peach galette. Was anyone here for this class? Mm-hmm. Oh, we have a few. This is still one of my favorite recipes. If you're not familiar with it, it's like an open free-form pie. And when you have the recipes and the tips from that, you can use anything in your kitchen. So if you've got leftover peaches or cherries or apples, whatever you want, you just do this beautiful free-form pie, throw it on the Traeger. I think you put some marzipan in there. Yes. Honeycomb, yes, you do know this recipe. But what I love, and this is also our friend Kyle, they are both here representing Traeger. If you guys are not familiar, they are a local company who love to support, get people out on the grill. And so when we do these events, we have like 100,000,000% support from Traeger, which we are so grateful for. They just recently have launched a brand new grill we're going to be using. And if you haven't had a chance to go over there and check it out, what is like your most favorite feature on this new grill?
There's 2 of them. First, it's going to be the grease and ash keg. Makes the cleanup a lot easier, basically a lot less shop vacuuming it out. And then also the induction side burner. It's North America's first outdoor rated induction side burner. It's 700 plus degrees in less than a minute and a half. Think reverse searing steaks, deep frying wings, boiling your corn, anything like that. Much more of a entire kitchen, outdoor kitchen than just a grill smoker. So I'm really excited about it.
Told me he put a cast iron watch pan on there and it got to 1,000 degrees. So think about that delicious sear that you'll give him a steak, then throw it on the Traeger and finish it off. Oh my gosh. This is so amazing. So if you have any Traeger questions, come over, see Kyle. We can help you, but he will know every little detail that you need to know. So come say hi to him. But we are so grateful to have Kelly. They said, who do you want? I'm always like, give me a girl. And they're always willing to send someone out because I think everyone belongs outside in the kitchen. And so if you have a Traeger or a Weber, whatever you're going to do, we want to help you to feel confident in using that. And I think the Traeger makes it so easy to do. So if you've been intimidated by it, just think of it as an extension of your oven outside. And so the Traeger and Kelly, they're going to take on the Lobster, which I don't know if you were a little intimidated by seafood. Every time we do a poll, this is always what people are like, teach me how to use the seafood. So Kelly's like, oh, I've got a lobster and some green beans, so we're excited to have the knowledge that comes from that. So yes, thank you for coming. Thank you, Kelly. I love having you.
All right, am I on? Okay. What's up, guys? I'm so excited to be back in Utah. I actually lived in Utah for like a decade before I moved to San Diego, and I totally was surprised at how can't touch this. Can you guys hear me? No? Oh, yeah? Okay. Utah does not like being trash talked. I have nothing else to say about that. All right, we're just going to jump in because I know we're a little bit behind schedule. I need shears. I left them in the kitchen. I'm so sorry. Yeah, kitchen shears. Actually, no. Actually, we're good. We're good. I got them. All right, so the first thing we're going to do with these lobster tails, you can actually buy lobster tails at Costco now. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it makes it so easy. They're just frozen. You just put them in your fridge for 24 hours, wait till they're thawed, and then we're just going to cut them open, pull the meat out, and throw them on the grill. We're going to baste with a really, really good orange butter, and it's going to have lots of texture, lots of flavor, and it's only like 6 ingredients, so it's really, really easy. But it's so beautiful and it tastes so good. So I'm going to show you what to do. I'll show you how to cut these open first. So you want to try to keep the meat as intact as possible. You could use a knife for this, but I prefer kitchen shears. These are actually the shears that people use to trim bonsai trees, but they're so sharp that I really like them. So what you're going to do to separate, you're going to use your finger. I use gloves. You don't have to use gloves. I just prefer it. And it can get kind of sharp, so you want to be careful, because if you get a raw piece or a rogue piece of shell, it can actually totally cut your skin. You're going to try to keep your scissors right between the meat and the shell. You're going to cut all the way till this last little knuckle, little joint right there, till about 1 centimeter above it. Because you want the meat to stay connected to the tail. Okay, just like this, right there. You want to pull the meat up and over. And what this does is it creates almost like a convection oven. The heat will stay inside the shell and cook the bottom and top evenly. And if you're a little squeamish about using your fingers, so I'm using 2 fingers and pushing just straight underneath. You can actually use a spoon as well to release the meat from the shell. So we're just going to stick our fingers through and be pretty gentle. It's fairly hardy, so you don't want to rip it to pieces. Just like this. And you see it's still connected right here. You don't want to pull the meat all the way out. And you're just going to set the meat right on your shell, just like this. Easy peasy. And then some of the best ways to cook a seafood, I find a lot of the reason why people are intimidated by seafood is because you don't want to eat something that's underdone and make yourself sick. I highly recommend buying a pro thermometer if you can. I believe they have them here, sure. Lobster's going to want to cook till about 135. So all you have to do is stick your probe thermometer in. I think I have one right here. And I might have talked about this earlier. Takes 2 seconds, check your temperature, and you don't have to worry about undercooking your seafood. Nobody wants to get seasick. Alright, so we're going to use our fingers again to break the meat apart. And it's okay if it cracks a little bit, you don't have to worry about it. As long as you're pulling the shards out, there's no problem with it. You just really want to keep that shell intact, like along with the shell to stay connected to the meat. And if it comes apart at the top, kind of like this rake right here, totally fine. You just don't want to take it fully off of it. And I will say the bigger the lobster is, obviously the more expensive it's going to be, but it is easier to work with, especially if you have like big old like man fingers. You're going to want to have a bigger lobster because it is kind of hard to pull the meat out if you have really big hands, so I would say use a spoon for that. And just like, yeah. And if you want to do, this makes a really easy surf and turf. Lobsters this size especially are perfect for that. So we're just going to make some orange butter. And so he was talking about, Kyle over there was talking about how we have an induction burner on the Traeger's now. The cool thing about an induction burner is that it will heat a pan, but you can actually stick your hand on it and it won't hurt your hand. It only heats with the right metal. So I have 4 kids at home. I love that I can cook outside and that if I like take the pan off the heat, they're not just gonna burn themselves touching things. And I think that's pretty awesome. So what we're gonna do is combine a half a stick of butter or a half a cup of butter, 1 stick. You have your recipes on you. And you can get kind of crazy with this. You can also switch out the orange in this recipe for easily with lemon. You could do lime. If you wanted to make this like a margarita lobster, you could switch out the lemon pepper for like margarita mix or salt mix or Bloody Mary mix. And that would all be really, really good. I like the citrus though. You can't go wrong with more. I want to use fresh oranges. And it helps to roll around first if you want to use the orange juice. Smash the orange like this to get the juices flowing. Kind of gets the oils going on the zest also, on the part of the orange. So we're going to add this all together. Top of our parsley. And throw that. You could microwave it too, which is fine, but we're just going to use the burner because we have one. So the right way to cut parsley. In culinary school, they used to tell us that the right way to cut parsley is so it looks like it's grains of sand. Do you know how hard that is to cut parsley with grains of sand? You have to like use a spot. There's like a whole thing. We're not going to do that. we're just gonna rip it and shock the heck out of it. But what you do is twist like this, fold it in half, keep it as tight as you possibly can. You're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck. What this parsley does in the butter also, it adds a little bit of green to it. It doesn't add a ton of flavor, but enough to keep it kind of herby. Stupid little But it's going to add texture and color. That's one of the hard things about cooking a lot of proteins. Is you're not going to get a lot of color in unless you're adding chutneys or side dishes. Parsley to any type of protein is an instant way to make it have more texture and more color. If you're not a fan of parsley, mint also goes a long way. We're going to keep this just like this. Alright. So not quite grains of sand, but close. Alright. I'm going to take this orange and butter over it. We're going to add about a quarter teaspoon of lemon pepper. Again, you can totally switch it out for something else. Regular pepper. I just use regular lemon pepper to smooth. We'll add a little bit of salt. I use exclusively in all of my cooking flake salt. People like sea salt a lot. Not a lot of chefs like salt, table salt. I use flake salt, specifically Malton flake salt. Is absolutely perfect in pretty much anything.
Oh, just one side.
Straight across. And I can get taste better. It makes it purposeful. Instead of just being one of the ingredients, you actually get pieces of like a specific flavor, which is the salt. I think it makes the food taste better. Sorry, I think it makes the food taste better when you actually have that purposeful ingredient, using your salt as an ingredient instead of just add salt as needed. I'm really sorry. Okay, we're gonna go throw this on the grill on the induction burner, and then we're gonna start on the green bean. We're going to mop the lobster and then add more butter every 10 minutes. It's going to cook for about 30 minutes. And as soon as that butter is melted, I'll show you what to do, how to put it on, and then you serve it straight out of the grill. So we'll move this over, and while that butter is melting, we're going to start on with the green beans. So green beans is a side. You guys probably saw that and you were probably thinking like, well, that's not very exciting. This is exciting. It's basically bacon trail mix, is what I'm about to show you. Which sounds good to everybody. Yes, sir. The Traeger is set for the lobster at 250. So if you wanted to speed this process up, you totally could. I like the smoky flavor on the lobster. I want you to know that it was cooked on the Traeger. That's why it's at a lower temperature. You can totally cook it up to probably 415, I would say. Just cut your time in half. Yes, sir.
What pellets are you using?
Sorry, what?
Have you got a preference on pellets?
Yes. So that's probably one of my most asked questions when I do Traeger events. You cannot go wrong with cherry, pecan. Those are probably my most, and hickory are probably my most used pellets. If I'm doing pork, I'll use a mesquite, but very rarely do I diverge from cherry or pecan. They just go with everything. They're not super strong, and I think the smoke flavor is strong enough. But if you want like a beef jerky, for example, I would definitely use something like mesquite. So you're gonna really taste like that wood flavor. And cashews. All right. So for this recipe, we're using a ton of green beans. You can cut them or not. It doesn't actually matter. I don't think. I kind of like the pokey ends on the green beans. I feel like it adds texture. It makes it more crunchy. It's not fancy, but I don't know. There's probably people out here that are like, those are disgusting. So if you want to cut the ends off your green beans, do it. I think they're just fine the way they are. Alright. So I pre-cooked the bacon for this recipe, but if you wanted to, you could cook the bacon above your green beans so they're done at the same time. I like to pre-cook the bacon and then use the bacon grease as the fat in the green beans. Keeps it crispy and makes it good fat to cook the beans in so it gets crispy. You can also use like an avocado oil. I definitely wouldn't recommend avocado oil or olive oil. Olive oil has a super low sear point. So if you're cooking at higher temperatures, like a 400, olive oil has the tendency to get really bitter and can create a really nasty aftertaste. So if you are roasting vegetables, I would say do a grapeseed oil or my favorite is avocado oil. Also sold at Costco.
Everything is in the trays.
And the avocado oil is good because it has a super high sear point. That's why it's really good for cooking. So we're gonna chop up our pre-cooked bacon. And you want it like bite-sized, but you also want it to be obvious that it's there. Like these are not bacon crumbles, these are like bacon handfuls. That's the trail mix that's coming in hot right now. So for this recipe I think I have 6 or 7 pieces of thick cut bacon. You want it to be noticeable. And if your family is like my family, half the bacon is gone after you cook it because everybody comes by and takes a taste. Just cook the whole pound of bacon. Just commit to it and then make sure you keep at least 7 pieces to the side. So we're going to keep this off to the side and we're going to mince some of our garlic. Thank you, ma'am. Can I need like like a little bit more. Yeah, and you don't have to cut them. You're just people. Thank you. I didn't do a very good job of my cut this morning, obviously. Alright, so we're going to mince our garlic up. And minced means just above like a paste. You don't want huge chunky pieces of garlic for this recipe, but you also don't need it to be a paste. So I guess we're doing a big mince. And I have I believe I used 2 big cloves of garlic. And again, this recipe is so easy to add or take this away. You can totally add more to it. We want enough to where you can see it. Alright, we're going to throw some of our bacon grease on here. You're going to need about, I think on my recipe it has like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. Just do it so every green bean has a nice coat on it. Oh, okay. Alright, you guys are going to see where this trail mix comes in now. I'll put a little bit of this in the bottom of the pan. Another really important part of roasting veggies is not letting the vegetables touch. The part of roasting is steaming. If everything is really close together, you're going to get a good steam on your vegetables, but nothing is going to caramelize. It's going to be too wet to really draw out that moisture to create that caramelization. So you don't want your veggies to touch. And that can be a little tricky. If you get like these big huge sheet pans, they fit in most ovens and they actually fit on the Traeger's too. So let's throw these in. How much do you guys like cashews? You guys are just my people. Alright. So, we're going to throw these on the grill at 400. Again, with the flake salt. It's not going to be an afterthought. When you take a bite of that green bean, I want you to taste the salt, I want you to taste the bacon, and I want you to taste the cashew. I want everything to be present. I want the flavors to meld. That's another reason why I kind of call this trail mix. All the pieces together should be tasted individually, but when they come together, the flavor is awesome. So I'm going to go throw this in the grill, and then we're going to go check out our lobster, and then I'll show you guys how to cook the lobster, okay? You could put the bacon in at this point, but I've found that it's easier to wait till about 5 minutes before your green beans are done, then add the bacon. Otherwise it can get really, really crispy, and it just kind of crowds the pan when you don't want the green beans to really be touching your much. Where? Oh, that would not have smelled good. There's plastic on there. Yeah, 400. Okay. Oh, you got them going already? Alright, you're good. Alright, my butter is nice and melted with my orange zest. And then my lemon pepper. Perfect. So we're going to mop our lobster, enough to keep it from getting too dried out. And you can stick these directly on the grill if you want to, but they're just easier to handle if you have them on a sheet pan, or even like a cooling rack is a good way to do it. Then they get that smoke from the bottom and the top. No, I mean, sometimes you'll get, I smoke a lot of food, and sometimes, like, I have some really nice ones from Williams Sonoma. Her question was, will it ruin the sheet pan? My answer is no, but I do have some really nice sheet pans that are gold from Williams Sonoma that I don't put on there just because I use them for, like, styling, and I want them to look, like, brand new. So they'll get pretty much the same wear and tear. So I'm not really picky. I'll put pretty much everything. I use glass pans in my Traeger. I do all of it. All right. So here's our orange butter. We're going to stir our parsley in. Not all of it. Leave enough off to the side that you can garnish. And our garnish will be flake salt and parsley. And so this recipe is going to look like a lot for these guys since these are a little bit smaller than the ones that you'll find usually. But it's the same principle. We're going to slather the bottom of your meat first. Just one time, just so it has that flavor on there. And you want to you're going to like scoop while you do this because you want all that chunky, good orange zest and parsley. Right in the middle. Right in the middle. You don't want to overcook your lobster. That's the fastest way to make it taste not good. It's also important that you don't cook your lobster from frozen. It will get really, really hard. You want to fully make sure you defrost it. You can do it by putting it in the fridge for 24 hours before you start, or if you're in a big hurry and you don't plan ahead like me, keep it under cold running water and just keep the water running until it's thawed out. It's usually about probably 15-20 minutes depending on the size of the lobster. So we'll go put these straight on the grill. They're going to cook these ones will cook for a little bit less time, probably closer to 20 minutes at 250. We're going to check with our thermometer. When they get to 135, we'll take them off and then garnish and then eat them right away. Lobster's not really one of those things you want to wait a long time unless you refrigerate it, chop it up, make a po' boy or something like that. But if you're eating it right off the grill, I would plan on cooking these or pulling these off the grill about 5 minutes before you eat. So that's a little bit. So we're going to stick these on and then sharpen our green beans, and then that's pretty much it. So put these on our grill at 250. Which one's one? All your guys' dishes that you're doing test are all in the back already. There's like 40 lobsters. Get ready to eat it. That's why you guys came for this class. Alright, can I answer any questions about the grills or seafood on the go? Does anybody have it? Yes.
So you mentioned that you use your sheet pans and glass and stuff in the Traeger. Like I know some people make their pizza. Do you use a regular pizza stove?
Oh yeah.
Is there anything you should not use?
Obviously don't put plastic in it. But pretty much that's it. One of the and if you don't want to do dishes, it's actually awesome. Just you make like a foil boat, and then you can just like toss the whole thing when you're done. You're still gonna get your grill lines. Just put two layers of foil together and use that. But I have 2 pizza stones on mine that I use all the time. When I make pie, I almost exclusively use a glass dish so I can see when it's done. It just makes it a little bit easier. Anything you can put in your oven, I put on the grill. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So she's asking about the peach fillet that I made. It's very famous, obviously. People really like it. No, it is. It's probably my most requested dish that I make. It's just a free-form pie, but yeah, you can make that on the grill. I make all sorts of desserts. Like Courtney, I don't know if she's here, but she's coming on after me. She's making a full cake on the grill. The Traeger, especially if you're using more of those pellets that are not super strong, the cherry, the pecan, you get a smoky flavor without having it be super heady. Again, if you want the really heady smoke flavor, mesquite and hickory are kind of going to be your bread and butter. But I mean, bread, I mean, you can make anything in there. Of course. If you actually have it saved on my Instagram is Chef Kelly Cahoon. And in the memories, there's like a fill out recipe because I was getting asked for it all the time. You will not regret it. It's literally like, it's so good. It's like my magnum opus probably. All right, more questions? Yes, ma'am. Honestly, I think that one is just going to be a headier flavor. I believe that also white oak has a higher heating point. So I think you want to use, I feel like with Santa Maria girls especially, I know that people would use the white oak to get to a higher temperature faster. And so I think it has to do with the burning point with the Traeger. I don't know that it matters so much. I think the flavor composition is probably pretty similar. Any more questions, guys? I'm happy to help. Sorry, what? Is that someone talking to me? No. Okay. All right, sorry, I was like, I don't know where you're coming from. Okay, so right now I'm just going to go, in about 10 minutes we can go and add this bacon. And I'm going to go over and look, and if you guys want to come over and look at the Traegers, we have all the samples cooking right now, and you can kind of see how it looks right now. I'll probably go mop the other lobsters too. So if you want to get up, feel free to come check it out. And in about 10 minutes, I'll add the bacon, mix it around, add like salt to it, and then serve it. And it is the best bacon trail mix you'll ever have. Right, so those for you guys. Thank you.
Pretty. I know. So pretty. And it does it looks so intimidating.
It does, but it's really only like 6 ingredients.
Yeah.
It's such easy. Yeah. Done.
I think that one has another tray of them as well. They were not messing around.
I need more butter.
It will let me see now. She's going to put butter on them in just a second and open it. Yeah.
So when you're cooking in the Traeger, you probably don't want to open while you're cooking.
We have a saying around here that says, if you're looking, it ain't cooking.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Because, it just lets the heat escape.
Yeah. I was wondering because I've seen them checked, but probably because they're checking to see what's done, but I wasn't sure if it was a bad thing.
Did you get that?
text message?
Yeah.
Okay, and I did send it.
I haven't. She's making more butter. I'm not sure if she wants any more of that.
Just putting this in there.
Do you want? Yeah. I showed it once. She was gonna mop the rest, so I was waiting.
All right, I love it. Hold on, will you hold this? I am
You're gonna be upset.
We didn't use that. It's just been sitting.
Like this one,
Roasted veggies.
you gotta worry.
But I mean, you always think of like meat, and it's great.
They took my. Oh, you have it.
Someone was talking to her.
So it's like
This is nice. Yeah, for searing the outside.
But yeah,
like if you're doing like full Brussels sprouts, like 30 minutes if they're Have you CrossFit yet? This is so hard. It took me like 20 briskets to get good at it. When did you do it?
I don't think it's
No, I mean, it takes a little bit of work.
Apparently.
I mean, I shouldn't say this, but you really do think when you taste
So we have to ask. Oh, I forget if you live that.
I use my
We went to the kitchen.
Yeah, actually, no,
That's when she scared me over there. She's trying to tell me a funny story. I love you. You're trying so hard.
This meat is more. Okay, it's super badass.
How long does this cook?
The lobster. It's about 20 minutes. She was gonna add the bacon and mop the lobster.
I like it because so you get the two wired probes, but then you get these two with it. Purchase two compatible with the total 6 full wireless.
So these are all Traeger accessories.
Yeah, so this is really cool. This is our, we have to patenting this. This is our pocket lock rail system. It's all customizable. Like if I wanted to pop this off, like put it over here, move these over here, I can totally do that.
There's some tool hangers.
Yeah, I got some tool hangers. Put that there. You know, if I wanted to put my butcher paper on there, like I got a roll, I'll be right back. You know, if I wanted to change out my paper towels and put this in there, I can totally do that. Yeah. So it's just two things. Yeah. We're making a bunch of different accessories for it. So this is kind of the beginning. We're doing like a speaker maybe. Like a cup holder and a bunch of stuff. So yeah. Just kind of set them on there, you're ready to roll. And you got your and then also put it too. What's that? Oh yeah. Am I doing it? Alright.
Oh, you have some butter already? Yeah, they're melting. Oh, that's great. We have lots of butter.
We have lots of butter. So let's do it. I think we need to turn it up a little. That's just me. Kelly's nice. So yeah, we're just buttering it up. I guess I could take these racks out.
Entire bowl of butter.
Yeah, I'm in. Arteries clogged. Yeah, let's get a little more. Looks good. Goes around. This is really cool though. This is very good.
I've grown them, but you can't buy fresh inside. You might be able to order it. I know Armin's has stuff where like,
Need a hickory pellet. I just grabbed my bin. This is like, what does I have this label there? This is my hickory pellet.
It's way better than the new. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, if I just feel like you can fit one in here, like, yeah, fit one in there, but then the bigger that's out.
Hey!
Yeah, it's
How's your pizza?
I didn't try it yet.
You can sit down and eat if you want.
Why is it so crunchy?
I like doing this too. Just off the
Can I go inside and eat? Okay. Where can I eat?
You can sit at that reception desk right inside the door. Remember that big round desk?
That's the same as the other ones too. Yeah.
the Timberline or the oh, you did buy the Timberline? Yeah. I have to. And mine's the new Timberline, so it has the zip on it.
Say hello to Instagram.
Hello, Instagram.
While we wait for Lobster to cook.
Yeah, we're staying close by.
Yeah. There's a lot of people staying close by.
Oh boy.
Yes, we do.
Oh, don't make that
Yeah. Let's watch it drop to 10. Maybe we'll drop it like 50 degrees and see how long it takes to get back. It should take like 2 or 3 minutes to get that point. Which is cool. It just means more consistent cooking. Yeah, I painted. Yeah, I painted it once. Make the town red. Yeah, right. Oh, I didn't.
You're okay.
I didn't do that. Let's get some photos, Kelly.
My giant butter bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get the chunks on there.
Connoisseur of butter.
I mean, if I'm gonna be a connoisseur of anything, I think that's fine.
Same. Do you do a lot of compound butters, Kelly?
Not that time.
Not that time. Yeah. Who's your favorite other influencer? I was gonna ask that.
Like food?
Just hanging out with Chad.
Electric burner, 2 liters and turbo.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. So yeah, this is North America's first outdoor rated side induction burner. When I say outdoor rated, that's actually really important. You know, we've all seen induction burners, but to get that outdoor rating is quite difficult. That's part of the reason why this is the higher price point. They sell these in Europe for like $2,000 on their own for it to be outdoor rated. To take a beating from the elements. This thing is rated to get up to 700 plus degrees. I've clocked it at 1,000 degrees. But the way induction works is, so like literally, I'll prove it to you guys right now. I'll turn up all the way to the turbo, put my hand there. It's hot because it's hot outside. So I can't really do the test right now. But like, if it wasn't hot out, I could just leave it there and be fine. Because it's not going to transfer any heat until the magnetic surface is there. So it's actually, that's why it heats up so fast. So you can't control that from your phone. It'd be cool if you could, but at the same time, I think it's kind of nice that you can.
With your smoke ice cream, how do you do that?
You smoke on low temperature the cream.
Before you make the base or like the full
Yes, no, just like before you make the base, smoke your cream, low and slow, and then you can put it back in your fridge even afterwards, and then make that. It's so tasty.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I hope it can see what you're doing. I can't see the screen.
I just have a very strong desire to like pour this over my head and be like buttercream.
Oh my goodness. Looks so good. X.